Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Matt Cromer. Some topics in the military deserve a lot of attention. A big one, suicide, affects soldiers and their families every day. Army Sergeant Patrick Ferraris takes us to the stage where a group of soldiers are using acting to teach and raise awareness.
Suicide is a very important issue in the military. The training that covers it is usually the same wherever you go, but not with this play in Korea. The opened door play acts as a realistic and relatable approach to soldiers and suicide, among other topics.
Talking about the play itself, you know, I was looking out at the audience and I was seeing their responses to it, and I could see some people was saying to themselves, man, I've done that. Okay, maybe I need to do something different. So if we got across to one person, job well done.
The soldiers coming together for the first time to act out these key scenarios went very well.
I think when we first come in, we was nervous. That's normal. That's what everything you do. You're gonna always be nervous. But I think once we got set up on stage and everybody got their part, we had fun in the process of sending the message home too. We can always get better as we go. That's what everything. But other than that, I think it was excellent.
With the actors being soldiers themselves, they know firsthand the kinds of experiences one can go through relating to suicide. One of the main points they focus on in the play is getting help.
If you're going through these situations, let's say a stressful event happens, you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling suicidal, talk to somebody. You've got the ASAP, chaplain, counselor, friends. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Reporting from Camp Casey, South Korea, I'm Army Sergeant Patrick Ferraris.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. The most dangerous enemy to an individual might be themselves. Army Sergeant Ricky Perez joins an early morning 5K run to raise awareness to this critical threat.
In the early morning, service members and civilians assemble on Lombardo Field. USAG Yongsan hosts a 5K run at the start of Suicide Awareness Month to stress a critical issue that affects service members.
We got to bring together. Many times I've looked through the ranks and said, who knew? Someone says, oh, I could have saw that coming. He was having this, she was having this. Speak up. You may be the only one that knows.
Running in formation or individually, even with their dogs, participants learn that they shouldn't feel ashamed to confess an inner crisis and help their battle buddies when they need assistance the most. Now they know personal honesty and peer aid is the most effective tool in preventing suicide.
The idea of teamwork and looking after each other is number one. The second point we always like to reinforce is this idea that you've got to be strong and acknowledge if you've got an issue, you come forward and you let folks know as well. It's two parts. We look after each other, and we also acknowledge it ain't weak to ask for help. That's a big one.
Army Sergeant Ricky Perez, Yongsan, Korea.
The top 3 participants of each gender was awarded a trophy. 15 years ago, America was struck by a tragedy. Senior Airman Jordran Thompson walks with a group of soldiers as they carry that weight on their backs.
The gloomy weather is appropriate today. It matches the mood for the occasion. Most of these soldiers joined after the September 11th attacks. But this man remembers it like it was yesterday.
I was a very young soldier in the Army when it happened. I didn't really expect to see any war, and that was where it all basically changed for me.
That's why First Sergeant Zachary Adams of the 307th Expeditionary Signal Battalion rucks with his troops.
It forces us to overcome a challenge, endure a little bit of a pain process, and to really capture that resilience of what it takes to keep moving and push through.
But how would a load on your back bring any significance to such a tragic event?
I think the purpose of the ruck and the weight that's in it, kind of symbolizes the load of stress that each soldier or that each person that was involved with 9/11 had to go through.
Carrying a meaningful weight, Adams says they ruck for the first responders, those who didn't make it, and those who still try to move forward from the past.
Show up! Show up! I don't think there's any amount of weight that could symbolize the pain that they endured to go through to save as many lives as possible.
Adams joined before 9/11, and his troops joined long afterwards. But he thinks this ruck puts things into perspective for them.
I think that to go through something like this is good for these young soldiers so that they can remember exactly how it is and what the impact of the military service that they do is.
Senior Airman Jordran Thompson, Camp Humphreys. Korea.
The Ruck March continued for 48 hours. Golf can be a sport of extreme happiness, but also extreme frustration. Army Sergeant Mark Brejcha goes to Camp Walker's golf course, where the USO is raising the stakes for a chance at extreme happiness.
Golfers line up their shot on the 7th hole of Camp Walker's evergreen golf course. Although picturesque, it isn't the scenery that's making the golfers a little anxious.
On the 7th hole, we had a $10,000 hole-in-one contest.
And that number grows much higher as golfers head to the 9th hole.
So we had a raffle drawing, everybody got a raffle ticket, and we pulled 2 names out of the hat. And those 2 individuals had an opportunity with 1 shot to win $1 million.
The opportunity comes as the conclusion of the USO Golf League in Daegu. The 2 chosen golfers line up just short of 200 yards for their shot at $1 million. They take their swing and hope for a miracle.
I didn't think it was too well. I was nervous for $1 million. I mean, it's nerve-wracking.
Even though he didn't make a hole-in-one, he still keeps the idea alive.
It's good to think about if I did win the $1 million, though.
Reporting from Camp Walker, Korea, I'm Army Sergeant Mark Brejcha.
The league started playing back in May and gave the chance for service members to try the sport in a local setting. Family, friends, and service members gather for a special event. Army Sergeant Alon Humphrey takes us to a naval base where service members witness a change in history.
The bell rings signifying the commanders of USFK arrived to the change of command ceremony in Busan. U.S. Naval Forces Korea holds a change of command ceremony to celebrate the accomplishments of the outgoing commander, Admiral Bill Byrne, and his family.
This command is not about Brad Cooper or Bill Byrne. It is about the partnership, the alliance, the friendship between the United States and the Republic of Korea navies, and that will never, ever be swept aside.
As people say goodbye to their former commander, they also welcome Rear Admiral Charles Cooper as he takes the reins as commander of U.S. Naval Forces Korea.
It's a great honor, and I consider it to be a life privilege to relieve Admiral Byrne and assume duties as the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Korea.
Admiral Charles Cooper is the 35th commander of CNFK since the unit started in 1957. Reporting from Busan, Korea, I'm Army Sergeant Alon Humphrey.
CNFK works closely with its ROC counterparts and coordinates U.S. Navy participation in more than 20 exercises a year. In response to recent North Korean hostile actions, U.S. and Republic of Korea partners joined forces to demonstrate air capabilities over Osan Air Base. Air Force Staff Sergeant Daryn Murphy was at the air power display and says the top military leaders in Korea used the opportunity to send a unified message regarding defense of the Republic of Korea and its allies.
In a strategic display of air power, 2 U.S. Air Force B-1B strategic bombers from Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, flew with Republic of Korea F-15K and U.S. F-16 fighter aircraft over Osan Air Base. It's a move that Combined Forces Command and United States Forces Korea Commander General Vincent K. Brooks says is meant to send a message.
The United States has an unshakable commitment to defend allies in the region and will take necessary steps to do so, including operations like the one you observed today, and also the deployment of the Terminal High Altitude Air Defense Battery, or the THAAD battery, to the Republic of Korea.
General Lee Soon-jin, chairman of the Republic of Korea Joint Chiefs of Staff, made it clear what the mission means for the defense of his nation.
As we have warned multiple times, if North Korea conducts military provocation, it will be met with a firm response from us that will shake the very foundation of its regime.
Both generals made it clear that this strategic display is just one of many capabilities which they are ready to employ in the defense of the peninsula. Air Force Staff Sergeant Daryn Murphy, Osan Air Base, Korea.
For more than 6 decades, U.S. and Republic of Korea airmen have worked side by side at Osan to maintain stability in the region. That was your Around the Peninsula for this week. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.